Welcome to Starlight Infinity Theater. We proudly present to you Secrets from the Rift, Episode 2, Halloween in the Watts Castle. Written by Jules Starn and Bonnie O'Toole and directed by Jules Starn.
My name is Thomas Pruitt, a reporter for the Times-Gazette Tribune. For the past few weeks, I've been accompanying and assisting in the fantastical business of tracking down beings from alternate dimensions for two very strange people, the bubbly Victoria Bates and the mysterious Dorian Bates. It had been some time since you last heard from our adventures, but none had been so bone-chilling, none so spine-tingling, none so spooky as the story I'm about to tell you now. It all started on the afternoon of October 31st, Halloween. I was assisting Mr. Watts and Miss Bates in their laboratory for the first time. You see, they had never let me inside that part of the house until this point.
Mr. Pruitt, I hope you understand me when I say that you are not to enter my laboratory unless you are either accompanied by myself or Miss Bates. There is technology here that, if mishandled, can reduce this city to rubble in a matter of seconds.
All the more reason to make sure he's properly trained in our equipment like we've discussed, Dorian.
Why me? This stuff looks more like something out of the pictures. I'm not sure I'm the right person. I've never been great with those new electric machines. What about your butler, Randis?
Randis's track record speaks for itself in terms of competence and intelligence.
Besides, the last time he wandered in here, he somehow caused an earthquake in Gulang, China in... When was it, Dorian?
27.
27! Which is exactly the reason you need to be briefed on the functions of our equipment. After all, what if something should happen to myself and Dorian?
Unlikely.
Quiet, Dorian! Anyway, there's only 2 machines here that we're going to teach you to use. Now here's the first one.
What, that giant imposing ring with the wires?
No, the lamp plugged in next to it. Yes, that giant imposing ring with the wires.
Dorian, please! This, Thomas, is the portal generator.
What does it do?
The portal generator is what we use to send all of our visitors back to the dimensions from whence they came. You see, every dimensional plane has its own energy signature. These discs here detect that signature, make the necessary connection to our rift, and it opens up a one-way portal to their dimension of origin.
Of course, we've taken the precaution that only the ones with the matching energy signature can go through. If any beastly little stinker tries to kidnap someone from our world, the kidnapper goes through the portal, and the victim falls safely onto that landing down there on the other side.
Is that blood on that landing?
Yes, Miss Bates was telling a true anecdote, which reminds me we should put a mattress down for next time.
To work on the machine, simply pull this lever, activating the power from the city grid. Then snap breakers A and B in sequence.
Once the visitor is through the portal and out of sight, you pull the breakers back down, B, then A, and deactivate power.
It's very important that you do that. Otherwise, he'll cause a blackout like we did in... When was that, Dorian?
1925, 27, 28, 29, and January, April, and November of 1930.
Oh, that's right! We are forgetful.
Right, I think I get the idea of that one. But what about the other machine you wanted me to learn?
The mini one, or the portable portal generator.
How do I use that?
Now have a look at these controls on the side. It's the same, but tiny and adorable. Follow the activation procedure, same as before, but this time, aim the disc, point, and shoot. Remember, as soon as you pull the tiny adorable lever, you have 10 seconds before the battery runs out, so make sure you have your target in sight. This is for visitors who don't want to leave.
I understand.
I doubt you come anywhere close to understanding the complexities of harnessing interdimensional travel.
Dorian! What's gotten into you today? You're being an awful bully to poor Thomas.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pruitt. It's just that I'm always a bit agitated on the 31st of October. We're expecting some guests.
Oh, of course! How could I have forgotten? They should be arriving soon, shouldn't they?
Who are you talking about?
Hey, Dorian! That little old lady's back again with the guy with his hands tied in the sack over his head. They're waiting for you in the parlor.
Oh, right on time.
I'm sorry. Why are you expecting guests like that?
Mr. Watts, Miss Bates, how wonderful it is to see you both again.
And you, Miss Krebs.
Always a pleasure.
And who is this handsome young man?
Miss Krebs, allow me to introduce the newest member of our team, Mr. Thomas Pruitt. Mr. Pruitt, please meet a very dear friend of ours, Miss Elizabeth Krebs.
Mr. Pruitt, how wonderful it is to meet you.
And you, Miss Krebs.
Oh, does he know?
We forgot to mention it.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to forget about our horrible friend here. I might as well tell him myself. Tell me, Mr. Pruitt, what do you know of the Samhain?
I can't say I've heard of it before.
It's a Gaelic seasonal festival which marks the end of the harvest season and the start of the dark half of the year.
Oh, Samhain.
It's pronounced Samhain, young man. It started off as a festive agricultural event, a time of excitement and feasting. But then, sometime in the 18th century, he came through the rift we're standing on now. His true dark name is not pronounceable by our tongues. He immediately tore around the globe causing mayhem, inspiring others to turn the festivities into a time of tricking and fear. And thus, Halloween was born. You remember the Halloween of your early childhood, Mr. Pruitt?
Somewhat. I remember it's far less violent than it used to be.
17 years ago, I decided I'd had enough of it. Every year, rotten children destroyed my prize-winning garden, and I was determined to put a stop to it. I researched all the texts, and they all spoke of a mysterious being influencing the hearts of men and children to do its evil bidding. I traveled the world that year, and at last, mere days before Halloween, I found him. I tried to kill him, but nothing worked, so I bound him with rope soaked in the sap of a rowan tree and brought him back to Kansas and kept him in my attic. That Halloween, I threw a massive party for all the children in the neighborhood. Apple bobbing, costume contests, sweets, festive, like Samhain in the days of old. To my great joy, the following morning I awoke to find my garden was intact. I knew I was successful, but my victory was short-lived. In the late afternoon, the evil being had escaped from my attic and made his way out of the neighborhood. I spent the year searching again for him and capturing him in time for his favorite dark night. And the cycle and yearly chase continued ever since. But I'm an old woman. I can't keep him contained like this forever. So for the last 9 years, I've been delivering the beast to your colleagues, as they're the most familiar with dealing with creatures from alternate realities, and I take my one night of rest.
So is, the man with the big burn-up sack over his head the evil being that came through the rift?
Yes. As I said, his true name cannot be pronounced by a human tongue, but he prefers to now go by his new name. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, Mr. Pruitt. I'm Pumpkin Henry.
Oh my god, his head is a pumpkin with a goofy face!
Yes, we can all see him.
Happy Halloween, Dorian. Happy Halloween, Victoria.
Happy Halloween, Pumpkin Henry.
Oh boy, tonight's gonna be so much fun. Wanna know why?
Why, Pumpkin Henry? Are you finally going to do a us all a favor and smash yourself on the pavement?
No, silly Billy. It's a full moon on Halloween. The first one in 19 years.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
A full moon on Halloween is the perfect time for optimal spookiness. Not to mention the one night in a 19-year dark rotation where I can reproduce.
Pardon?
I seek a virgin in which to plant my unholy seed.
What? That's...
We know he's horrible.
I just can't wait to break out of these ropes and impregnate a virgin.
We're keeping virgins far away from you, aren't we, Dorian?
We're going to keep you locked in the downstairs guest room, and we've added new locks after last year's debacle. You're not leaving our sight. Do you hear me, Pumpkin Henry?
I hear you, Dorian, but not for long. Soon my pumpkin ears will be ringing with the sweet sound of virgins singing.
Why does he like virgins so much?
Don't ask him.
Fine, I won't.
Are you sure? It's my favorite thing to talk about.
I'm leaving him in your capable hands, you three. With tonight's full moon, it is more essential than ever that he be kept prisoner. Tomorrow morning, you can set him loose. I'll find him again next year.
Not if I hide on a slippery mountain. One fall and you'll be dead, you old hag.
Ooh, we'll see about that, you deranged squash. Happy Halloween, everyone. Best of luck.
Starlight Infinity Theater will return in just a moment after a brief message from our sponsor. Are you tired of pricey electricity bills? Every minute counts when it comes to illumination. So why not turn off the lights when you brush your teeth and let Sparkle Shine's new radium toothpaste light the way? Sparkle Shine has a new patented formula that uses the element of radium to lighten a room and your smile with its healthy green glow. It's fun for the kids too. Imagine their happy glowing smiles when they use Sparkle Shine's new radium toothpaste. And now, back to Starlight Infinity Theater, Secrets from the Rift.
We decided to take it in shifts. My shift was soon approaching. Dorian and I waited in the kitchen while Victoria did her duty.
Another Halloween. This is the worst day of the year. I've always hated it. Now that we're watching over...
Pumpkin Henry.
Yes, Pumpkin Henry. Ever since we've been watching over that lunatic, Halloween has become more of a nightmare than ever before.
Oh, you must have enjoyed it at some point. It was fun when we were kids, right? You celebrated Halloween, didn't you? I'd say around the same time as me. How old are you? 29? 30? How old are you?
I've never celebrated Halloween. It's always been a pointless celebration of recklessness and idiocy. Once it stops being the night where children tear civilization to pieces, it becomes the night where we babysit an interdimensional maniac with a pumpkin head. A pumpkin head not filled with seeds and guts, mind you. A pumpkin head filled with thoughts of destruction and dark conquest.
Must have been a point in between that, though. Well, let's do the maths. 1914 was the year Miss Krebs first captured him, and she only started bringing him to you 9 years ago, in 1922. Did you ever celebrate it then? In those 8 years?
Once.
Once? Did you dress up? Mr. Watts, your silence speaks volumes. I'll ask again. Did you?
Miss Bates made me dress as a pirate.
A pirate?
Oh, thank you. Do not pry any further, Mr. Pruitt.
Fine, I'll stop.
Oh, I was simply sure I wouldn't be able to last the 3 hours, but I made it. I'm off to have a bubble bath. I always feel absolutely dreadful after hearing him talk.
You've done well, Victoria. One more to do. Rest until then. Well, Mr. Pruitt, prepare yourself for the greatest challenge you'll ever face. That thing in there is responsible for so much death, so much destruction. He will stop at nothing to see this world crumble at his dark will. Do you understand?
I understand, Mr. Watts. I can't say I feel particularly confident.
He's in a weakened state thanks to Miss Krebs, but he's still tricky. Because we're keeping away from virgins, he should be staying weak. That's why we're keeping him here. And we shouldn't be leaving him alone like this for too long. He'll be trying to get some sleep. If anything goes wrong, well, let's hope nothing goes wrong. Best of luck, Mr. Pruitt.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello, Pumpkin Henry.
You don't seem to be in the spooky Halloween spirit, Thomas. Why are you glum?
I'm not in the Halloween spirit because you're here.
Whatever do you mean by that, Thomas? I am Halloween. The spooky tricks, the chilling fun, the approaching darkness, spilling the blood of the innocent, the impregnation of a virgin on a full moon Samhain. I shall bring forth my offspring, my gourd lord from an untouched womb.
You can stop talking about that plan of yours, because it's not happening. My friends and I are making sure you stay right where you are. You're not getting to anyone tonight.
Oh, Thomas.
Please stop saying my name. I hate how you say it.
You're my new favorite, Thomas. I'm very happy to be locked in here with you. Happier than I ever thought I'd be. I can see why those two keep you around. It's just not as fun when everyone figures out my spooky plan. I can tell you're the type that takes longer.
What are you talking about?
Every year, this planet gets more and more fun and convenient. Are you hungry, Thomas? With the invention of the telephone and modern takeaway boxes from restaurants, you can have whatever you want without ever having to leave your home.
You didn't.
The sweetest young girl works at the oyster place down the road. I pulled some strings behind the scenes. I made sure she got the job.
How would you even...
It seems they forgot to take this new telephone out of the guest room.
Oh, dear God.
I figured I'd order us some delivery.
I had to act fast. I quickly remembered the portable portal generator. I dashed down to the lab and grabbed the machine and strapped it to my back. I never knew why Dorian and Victoria never tried to send it back before, but I figured whatever the reason, the fate of the Earth was too great to risk it. Randus was showing the delivery girl into the guest room. It was almost too late.
Oh, wow, is that a costume or is your head really like that?
Stay away from her, Pumpkin Henry.
Too late, Thomas. Come to me, my sweet virgin. I will plant my seed in your gentle flesh, and soon this planet will be ruled by our dark vegetable offspring.
I obey, my dark prince. I wish to bear your gourd, lord.
Don't you dare, Pumpkin Henry.
Join me in flesh, my sweet, as we speak in tongues to one another.
What the hell did you do?
The situation escalated very quickly in a direction I didn't anticipate.
What's going on?
The situation escalated very quickly in a direction that Thomas didn't anticipate.
I promise I've got it under control. Pumpkin Henry,
Yes, Thomas?
happy Halloween!
Quick thinking, Thomas.
Very good eye. You spotted her subtle iridescent back ridges on her neck and deduced that she, too, was not of this world.
To be entirely honest, I didn't notice that at all. I was aiming at Pumpkin Henry.
But Thomas, don't you think we've tried that? It didn't work.
He may not be from this world, but he's influenced so much of it that he is, strictly speaking, of this world. Now that begs the question, Mr. Pruitt, how she managed to get here in the first place. I thought I'd be able to trust you with this simple task.
It wasn't my fault. There was a telephone in the guest room.
Right, that was my fault. I'm sorry, Mr. Pruitt.
What are we going to do about Pumpkin Henry?
You don't need to worry about me. My night is ruined. I was planning this all month. Getting that girl hired at the oyster place, trying to keep myself from taking her virginity, even drinking far less baby blood than usual to get my appetite up for tonight.
I'm sorry, you what?
After I plant my unholy seed in a virgin, we both drain an infant dry of its blood, but now it's all ruined. I'm not gonna get another shot at this for another 19 years. I'll never be a dad now.
Miss Krebs said she's only been doing this for 17 years. What kept you from doing it in the centuries before?
She's not the only one to hunt for me. She's just the first one to keep me captive on Halloween, my favorite night. My whole life on this planet has been one massive pursuit, when all I want to do is bring this feeble planet to its knees and watch it burn with my family.
Oh, baby.
What are you doing? Don't hug him.
But he's sad. We ruined his night.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Now look, Pumpkin Henry. We may not let you bring our feeble planet to destruction, but that's no reason we can't celebrate Halloween tonight. What do you say, boys?
I could enjoy that. I suppose it's not every day I get to spend Halloween with, Pumpkin Henry himself.
Absolutely not. He's pure evil. The very idea.
Dorian! We've got a very sad pumpkin man on our hands. Now, tell Randus to lock up all the doors and windows. Oh, and go upstairs and put on your pirate costume.
You kept it? I thought I threw it away.
Attic wardrobe, the box on the bottom left. Now, Dorian.
You owe me, Victoria.
I may not be consuming the blood of the innocent, but this Halloween looks like it might not be so bad after all.
And so we parted. For being of pure darkness and evil, Pumpkin Henry had some fantastic dance moves. Unfortunately, at one point, he bit off 2 of Randus's fingers. But we sent him to the hospital, and they should be able to reattach them. It was the best Halloween I'd had since I was a boy. We stayed up all night, and when the sun came up, it was time for that ancient evil being to go home.
You three have given me the best, most spookiest, most wonderful Halloween I've had in years.
It was our pleasure, Pumpkin Henry. We would have preferred it if you hadn't bitten off 2 of Randus's fingers, but you were on your best behavior, and for that we thank you.
I hate to admit it, but you showed that the old wild spirit of Halloween might not be the worst thing, provided that it's contained.
You influenced the Halloween of my childhood, Pumpkin Henry. I may now know that breaking windows and lighting fire to garden gnomes is an awful thing to do, but thanks for the fun.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you all. I have to go now. I'm off to strangle an old man to death. Goodbye!
Dorian, are we wrong to just let him go like this every year?
This earth is filled with mayhem and evil. And evil is immortal, as our horrible friend is living proof of. Just as evil is immortal, so is goodness. He's destined to an eternal fight, and he knows it. Last night, we took a break from the fighting. And we danced.
But he said he was off to strangle an old man, and we just let him.
Fine, we're morally ambiguous on this.
I just couldn't stand to see a grown pumpkin cry.
Let's get inside. The winter chill is approaching. The Samhain has passed, and we must prepare ourselves for the cold half of the year. Come on. It's cold as fuck.
Starlight Infinity Theater Secrets from the Rift starred Dominic G. Martin, Katie Benninger, Jules Starn, and Stacy Belmont. Original soundtrack composed by Katie Benninger. And remember, from all of us at Starlight Infinity Theater, have you cleaned out inside your ears lately? Good night!